Hey everybody, it's Kelly from My Soulful Home. Today I'm going to show you how to take a grocery store bouquet and make a gorgeous floral display. So sure, you could go to the grocery store, get a $5 bouquet and come home and be a plonker. But don't be a plonker. With a few simple steps that I'm going to show you today, you can create stunning floral displays that are going to really last. Okay, so when you come home from the grocery store, just a few quick things to do before you put in your groceries away. You're going to give your bouquet a fresh cut on an angle. Most flowers need an angle cut. There are a few that need straight across cuts, but we don't need to get into those details today. So a nice fresh angled cut, and you're going to put them in some water with some floral preservative. And I like to just put them in one of the bigger vases that I have. I leave them in the plastic and I just put them in there. And you do about a tablespoon to about a quart of water and just let them sit in a cool, dark place for about an hour. And if you can't let them sit for an hour because you have people coming over for dinner in 45 minutes, that's okay too. But ideally, you're going to let them sit and rehydrate themselves before you start arranging them. So as I explained, you're going to want to cut your flowers on an angle. You're also going to want to make note of the nodes. So make note of the nodes on the flower stem. These will prevent or make it more difficult for the water to come up through the stem to the flower. So that's going to then decrease the life of the flower in the vase. So what you want to do is if you're cutting and you can get above the node. So if you needed the stem to be super long, then I would cut right above this bottom node. If you can go a little shorter, then take this node off too. Go right above it. So there's enough space for the water to get some, sort of some traction moving up the stem. Okay, so you've got your flowers all ready to now start your design. Uh, I have cut greens from my own garden. I didn't spend the money on the greens, but you can get greens very inexpensively, like Trader Joe's or something like that. And with the greens, when they have a woody stem, you're going to use a more of a pruner or clipper rather than your floral shears. And so again, before they go into the vase that you're going to display them in, you're just going to give them a little fresh cut on an angle. And we're going to start with the green. So that's going to be our foundation. So you place all the greens in, and then we'll start with the flowers. Okay, so now I have my greens in place. They're in water with preservative in it. So they're long lasting. They've got a fresh angled cut, and they are going to give the structure to the design. And you want to keep in mind where you're going to put it. If this is going to be on a dining room table and someone's going to see it from all angles, you want all the sides to look really great. If it's going to be up against a wall or in a corner, then you can probably get away with sort of fudging a little bit on the back. But mine's going to be on the dining room table, so I want everything to look good from all angles. So after the greens, the next step is to add your sort of supporting actress sort of flower. So not the star of the show, but some flower that is sort of mid-sized. I'm doing a really loose arrangement, and my star is going to be these spray roses. So the next size down are these chamomile blossoms. So they're really pretty. They're really loose. I like a loose arrangement. So I'm going to put those in next along with the greens, and then we'll add in the wild flowers in this arrangement, which will be the yellow spray roses. So when you're putting in your mid-sized flowers, definitely either move the vase around or walk around it so you make sure that you're getting a good look from all angles and you're filling it in. You don't want to have too many flowers on one side. You want to have flow within the arrangement itself. And also a tip is every time you're putting in a flower or greens, you want to make sure that any of the leaves or greenery that would be below the water line are clipped off. And then you're going to add in your wildflower. That could be anything. It could be a spray rose like mine. It could be a large rose. It could be Casablanca lily. Any flower that really has some oomph to it. So a bigger bloom or something spectacular. And you don't have to have that many of the wildflowers. In fact, I would recommend having only one or two wildflowers in any arrangement because, like divas on the stage, they will be competing with each other. So it might take away from the beauty of your entire arrangement if there's just too much going on. Okay, so now we have our arrangement with our greens, our mid-sized flower, and our wildflower. I really like working with spray roses or even spray carnations because the way they grow, they add instant depth to an arrangement. As you see there, kind of some of them are deeper in, some of them are rising up from the arrangement. You just don't want to make an arrangement that's sort of like a dome. So you definitely want to feel some movement and some flow. So a couple more tips before we recap the steps to creating a beautiful floral arrangement from some grocery store bouquets. You're going to want to have a set of floral shears. It makes a big difference. Just using a kitchen scissor is not going to give you the proper cut. These type of shears are designed to not crush the stem, and with the stem is left intact when you make your cut, then more water can get to the flower, and that's what's going to create a lasting arrangement in a vase. So I will put a link to the shears that I love to use in the description for the video. Also, definitely use some flower preservative. It's the way to go to preserve the flowers for as long as possible. Sometimes you even get the little packet attached to the grocery store bouquet. Make use of that. So about a tablespoon for a quart of water in your vase. So these flowers cost me $3.99 for the chamomile and $4.99 for the spray roses. And then the greens I cut from my garden. I did add some pussy willow stems here, which I also got at Trader Joe's along with the flowers. They were $4.99. The thing about this is it's a really interesting fill. You could use berries, you could use tiny little wax flowers, something like that that adds just a little interest, additional interest to your arrangement. So I thought I'd just stick these in. I kind of aligned them with the greens. So I think they just add another dimension to the design. Okay, to recap our easy steps. You buy some flowers at the grocery store, you come home, you're gonna give them a fresh cut on an angle and put them in some water. Preferably the water has floral preservative in it. You're gonna let them sit for about an hour to rehydrate. Then you can start your gorgeous design. You can use greens that you purchased or greens from your garden and use that as your foundation. Then you're going to put in your mid-sized flowers and then fill it up with those all the way around, and then add your wildflowers. And depending on what size wildflower you have, you would then decide which was the medium-sized flower. Then you can add a little fill. In my case, I just added some pussy willow stems to the arrangement to add some interest. You could also add berries, or you could add really tiny little spray type flowers. And there you go. Now this, if I'm doing my math right? So it's 5, 8, so it's about $8 plus tax to create this entire arrangement, as opposed to what you would pay at a florist. And I think that this is comparable to something that you would get at a florist. You can make these for yourself or you can make them for friends. Thanks so much for coming by today. I hope that you enjoyed my tutorial on how to create a beautiful floral arrangement for some inexpensive grocery store bouquets. If you did enjoy this, I have a book on the same subject, all about flowers, and 12 different tutorials for one corresponding with each month of the year. And I give you tons of tips and ideas about how to not only design, but how to take care of the flowers that you've cut, and also how to grow cut flowers in your own garden. So I'll put a link to the book in the description for the video as well. Thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon.